When you haven't been dating someone that long, and you're not quite sure where your relationship stands, and you've been hurt before, so you're really scared to do anything risky, but you really like the person, and you've bonded over Star Wars, and it's their birthday. What do? Well, if you're the doll fairy, you make a plushie of Baby Yoda. Because what says, I'm not that committed to this relationship, better than a handmade gift that you spent hours making and put love into every stitch? Hi everyone, it's me, Diana, the Doll Fairy, and today I get to talk about something I really love talking about: Star Wars. In the past few years, there's been a lot of arguments and a lot of contention around what Star Wars is, what it isn't, what it should be, what it shouldn't be, and whether or not the sequels are just terrible. I don't want to talk about that right now. But despite all the contention, there is one thing that Star Wars fans all across the fandom can agree with pretty much unequivocally, and that is that the Mandalorian is good and that Baby Yoda is adorable. So I decided to make a little plushie of him. It's going to be a very simple, low-level plushie, nothing complicated because I don't really know how to make plushies the right way. I'm just going to wing it and sprinkle a little bit of doll magic, and I think it'll turn out pretty well. I started by creating a pattern for a somewhat spherical head and a roundish rectangular body, and I traced and cut the pattern pieces onto fleece. Apparently, this circle with a triangular notch on the top and the bottom is how you create a sphere shape with sewing. I didn't know how to do that before this project, but I learned it thanks to the endless resource that is the internet. For the body, it's just going to consist of two halves, like a pillow. But there will also be an oval-shaped bottom base piece to make the plush more three-dimensional and give him a base so that he'll be able to stand up. He won't have any arms or legs because that's a little beyond me at the moment. Plus, he's a baby, so he's very roundish anyway. I also free-handed an ear shape. I made it wider in the middle and it comes to a point at the end because I intend to fold the ear over when I sew it in to give the ear a curled effect. My pattern is really quite crude and unprofessional, but in case you'd like to try following along and making your own, I've included a link in the description where you can download and print out this pattern for free if you're so inclined. I pinned the ear shapes into place on either side between the two layers of the head pieces. You can see how I folded the ear in half long ways so it will be sewn down in that position. I will then sew the seams on either side of the head sphere. Now, I was afraid of the ears moving out of place while sewing up the sides, so first I hand stitched them into place on one layer of the fabric to secure them. I'm careful to make sure that the rest of the ears won't get caught in the seam. Then I sew up the sides of the head on the sewing machine. Now I need to clearly mark for myself where the notch goes on the fabric, so I'm just using a black pen to mark it. Now there are better options than black pen for marking fabrics, but with fleece, this is the only method that I've found really works for me, so it's fine. Now I kind of flip the whole thing around so that I can sew up the notches in a perpendicular manner to my first seams. I really don't know how to explain this that well, but hopefully you can clearly see in the video what I mean by that. I simply hand stitched this part so that I could make sure I kept my markings lined up with each other on both sides. I flip it right side out, and wow, does that look better than I expected it to. The top of the head is pretty spherical, and the ears stick out just the way that I wanted them to. I turn my attention to the body. start by sewing together the rectangles for the front and back of the body at one of the side seams. Next, I carefully match up the bottom edges of the body piece with the oval base piece by pinning them together. I sewed one side at a time just to be safe and take it slow. Then I sew up the other side of the body piece. I turn the completed body piece right side out, and it's ready to be filled with some stuffing. Before the fluff, however, I want to give him some weight, like the Beanie Babies of my childhood. I'm using some of these Poly Pellets weighted stuffing beads that my mom and I bought on Amazon for a weighted blanket project. I poured some into a smaller container and then added them a little at a time into the body. I don't have any sort of formula for it. This is really a personal preference to how weighted you want your plush to be. So I just kept adding some a little bit at a time until I was happy with how it felt in the palm of my hand, basically. Once I was happy with the weight, I pulled out my ample bag of yarn fluff left over from brushing out yarn for doll hair, and I stuffed my little guy with fluff. I actually really like how airy and soft this type of fluff is compared to the typical poly stuffing you might buy in a craft store. It's quite silly, but for whatever reason, I wanted to use the green fluff to stuff the green head because it matches, so I did. At this point, I'm not really sure how to attach the head to the body. But I am going to give him a fluffy collar like he has on the show. So lucky for me, I will be able to cover up any unsightly stitching that results from my lack of expertise in plushie construction. To close up the head, I'm just kind of eyeballing the notch seam, which is a reflection of the one we hand sewed at the top. But this time, it's right side out, so I'm going to have to use an invisible stitch if I can. This kind of took me a while. I did it sort of carefully, and there does seem to be some puckering going on here. But overall, the seam is coming out pretty nicely as long as I'm going carefully. Part of the winging it method is being okay with just a little bit of imperfection. As I was sewing along this line, I was trying to pay attention to where things were kind of sticking out and just tried to correct it basically by orchestrating my stitches that way. So, and that was all just kind of instinctual and improvisational. So I don't have much of an explanation for that, but in the end, it came out looking pretty good, I think. Next, I need to embroider his face. This baby Yoda, or Grogu as he is now called, is going to be somewhat cartoony and not extremely detailed, but he also has to have certain distinctive facial features in order to look like the character. And honestly, those facial features are a little bit difficult to pin down. So I do my best to do a very improvised version of fabric sculpting mixed with embroidery to create the bottom half of his face, including a cute nose, a shy little smile, and the outline of his cheeks on either side of the mouth. Unfortunately, I don't know how to explain how I did this. I just kind of did it and figured it out as I went along. And it came out pretty well, I think, actually. I sewed up the top of the body kind of haphazardly using a kind of a drawstring effect, and then tucking it into itself and sewing it shut. I cut out the shapes for his eyes from some brown fleece. Then I create some thin crescent shapes to create eyelids around his eyes. For whatever reason, I went back to stitch the body and head together before attaching the eyes and eyelids. This was also done using unprofessional stitching methods, but I use plenty of stitches to make sure the connection is secure, and I also do my best to keep the stitches from showing. To make a fluffy collar around his neck, I need a Sherpa-like fabric. The only one I have is this one that's glittery on one side. It's really pretty, but we don't want the glittery part to show. So I cut a strip of the fabric and I fold over the top edge and stitch it down so that you will only be able to see the fluff and no sparkle. I sew it into a loop that fits around the little guy's neck. I put it on and stitch it into place. I cut out some teeny little hands from the green fleece, which I will glue on. He's starting to look so cute. I pinned the eyes into place as I glued on the hands, just to get a good read on what the full plushie will look like as I finish up his details. Then I use my trusty Fast Grab tacky glue to carefully glue the eyes and eyelids into place on his face. After a bit of trimming and tweaking things here and there, I finish him off with some white acrylic paint on the eyes for a cute highlight. I think fabric paint would have been the ideal choice for this, but I didn't have fabric paint or medium, so I think this will do. And surprise, I actually made 2 of them. The first one was a prototype, which I kept for myself, on which I more or less experimented and worked out the kinks with the process. The second one I made a few improvements on, and this is the one that I presented to my boyfriend for his birthday. So here he is, my little baby Yoda. I think he's pretty darn adorable. You can tell he's pretty small. He's not exactly like the size that I could wrap my arms around and hug. He's larger than a Tsum Tsum, but I kind of think of him as being like in the category of little teeny plushies like Tsum Tsums. Because he is so small, this baby Yoda, or Grogu I should say, makes a cute companion for smart dolls, though proportionally, it's an oversized plush for them. I imagine that Juniper here shares a lot of my geeky interests like Star Wars, and for her, this little guy is super huggable. I like that his ears are a little bit floppy, and he's very soft and squishy, because I didn't fill him up with too much fluff. I wanted him to be squishy. And he's got those little beans, so he can kind of stand up. In case you're wondering what happened in the story I told earlier, I actually made this many months ago, and Baby Yoda was well received. My boyfriend really appreciated that I handmade this gift for him, and he put it next to his paper mache Yoda that he made when he was in 7th grade or something like that, and it's just so cute, I can't handle it. At the time, I was kind of afraid it might seem like a strange or silly gift, but close to a year later, I'm very glad I was sincere and showed my affection with this handmade gift. All is well in that department. I hope that you enjoyed this video, which was a simple little departure from our usual complicated or at least lengthy doll making process. And as always, thank you to my patrons whose support helps make all of the doll magic on this channel possible. If you enjoy my videos and would like to help me make more of them, check out Patreon. Becoming a monthly supporter gets you access to bonus and behind-the-scenes content, participating in exclusive contests and collaborations, early access to my videos as well as exclusive patron-only videos and tutorials, and more. Check it out at patreon.com/thedollfairy. I'd also like to remind you that the Doll Fairy now has an official shop with apparel, accessories, charms, stickers, and lots of cool stuff for sale. I designed all of the merch on thedollfairy.com, so head over to check it out and sign up for the email list to find out the inside scoop about upcoming sales and events. So thank you for watching. I hope that you'll subscribe if you haven't yet for more fun crafts and doll making and maybe even more Star Wars stuff. Who knows? Have a great day, everybody. I will see you all again very soon for more doll magic. Bye!